Hey, before we start the show, just wanted to let you know that No Inner Monologue is available on all your favorite podcast providers. And now on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on social media at No Inner Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and No Inner Monologue on Facebook. Now, enjoy the show. Previously on No Inner Monologue.
Yeah.
He's like, he's treating wives like comic
polygamous?
books.
He's treating wives like Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Jesus Christ. Pokemon.
From the 7-ish Studios in Mississauga, Ontario, it's the No Inner Monologue podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 78 of the No Inner Monologue podcast.
Yep, 78.
78. Actually, this is 78 part 2 because
We had some technical difficulties. Like way
difficulties.
too many technical
Yes.
difficulties, so we just
Let's
decided to
start all over again.
start over.
I am Dwayne Narono. In the room here with me is...
Joey Mangione,
And all the way from the Philippines
is...
Manny.
Wow. That was a technical difficulty.
We went through this, man. You have to answer as fast as possible.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, okay, so
Creepy.
creepy...
Since we're going fast as possible, I need to tell you guys about how things are over here.
No.
Why? It's hot. We get it. It rains a lot. You had
There's
dengue
water
fever.
and there's rain.
Listen,
And you had dengue fever.
listen.
We've been through every kind of rain there is. A little bit of stinging rain. Big old fat.
And that's my weather report for today.
I hate you so much.
You know, you could have told me to do that and I would have queued that up for you. And it would have sounded so much fucking better, you son of a bitch.
Anyways, okay.
You son of a bitch.
Let's move on. So we're gonna do a shorter
Fucking
episode.
hate you.
We're probably gonna do a shorter episode today because realistically we had so many technical difficulties and we're doing this on a Monday night, which means some of us have to go home at some point.
I
I'm
know.
still at work.
I mean, Manny doesn't understand that concept of coming back home, but
Yeah.
for the rest of us, we got to do our thing.
Exactly.
So, quick update on Tash. We don't know where she is.
She is now trying to control the weather.
Ooh, she's trying to kill Manny.
She said she would do it.
No, Manny's. You know what? She's really upset with you, Manny, because it was Joe's.
I know.
It was Joe's birthday the other day.
We had my party this
We had
past
a party,
weekend. Yes.
and
Manny,
your wife showed up.
Okay.
Your Mrs.
Spoiler
Ogden-
alert, I put it in the wrong suitcase.
Your Canadian wife showed up.
your
and-
other kid.
yes.
Both your wives were at my party. It was
yes.
really weird.
Your podcast wife and your Canadian wife showed up to the party, and Joey had a gift, and I had a gift. Thank you, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Still wasn't Jollibee. It wasn't the Jollibee Funko Pop, so you're still not off the hook.
Tash was actually kind of jealous of the gift that Manny got me.
Oh, the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh wow, it's a 007 one." And then she's like, and then Tash started to take credit for the watch that Manny chose. She's like, "Oh, it's the one with the blue face. Like I told him to get." I'm like, "Excuse you?"
Anyways, but then there was no gift for Tash. So
There's nothing.
she's gonna take all her storm-like powers to kill you before you get back.
So
It's
yeah,
like
she's
Dr. Colossus with an afro.
dude, she's trying to like develop a weather controlling machine. You're fucked.
Oh god, she is a Bond villain.
I told you she was.
Anyways, so what are we talking about today? We're gonna talk about.
Black Mamba.
Did you say no? We're not talking about Tash.
Could we do an entire episode about Tash
Without her here?
Without
Yeah.
her here, I think that would be
Today's
amazing.
So today's episode is brought to you by Manga, that Japanese art form.
Of what?
This douchebag completely fucked up the way he was supposed to say. So we're gonna talk today.
That sounds about right.
We're gonna talk today about the Japanese comic book stylings of manga, and its cousin, the
Anime.
the Japanese cartoon form of anime.
That is correct. sir.
Now, amongst the three of us, Manny's sort of the expert on
That's
the subject.
upsetting.
And only because he's the one apparently who quote unquote reads.
I like how you did
manga.
quotation marks with your fingers. That
I
was
did.
really fun.
I had to do it. If anybody has ever spoken to Manny via text, you know reading is not his strong point.
Spelling, reading, context.
Comprehension.
comprehension,
Anyways,
language.
but okay, Manny, you do read a lot of manga.
Yes, I do.
And when did you start reading?
I've actually been reading it since 2007.
Sweet. And when did you start
I
reading
actually
manga?
Yeah, I actually got into it because when I used to work at the video game shop,
You're such a
there was a
dick.
lot of anime, manga, Japanese games based on there. One of the big ones now that I actually
Wait.
remember was by Atlas Games, the Persona games, as well as
What
yeah, so
games are you
that's what
talking
they-
about?
Sorry.
What games are you talking about?
So they're known as Persona. It's an anime manga style game.
This is a totally different origin story than you told us when we were having technical
No.
difficulties.
It's that
Because he's
one, right?
making stuff up more.
No. I'm not.
He's
I'm
had more
trying
time to
remember.
make
But
stuff
then-
up.
And then there was also, but then one of the guys that one of the regulars that came in, he actually introduced me to a very popular manga series known as Death Note. Now, just to give a quick synopsis of what Death Note is, it's about a high school student. He's definitely some sort of sociopath. He gains the power to kill people by writing their names in a notebook. And it's a cat and mouse game between him and like I guess the world's greatest detective on not getting caught.
Alright. I just actually looked up a picture of Death Note, and the main character is fucking frightening.
Kira, like
I don't
Yagami, is also known as Kira, and then the second character is known as L, which is he's
Okay.
the main detective.
I'm
Main
gonna.
character looks like an evil version of a character from The
Oh
Incredibles.
fuck! That looks like the Joker. I'm honestly gonna say this, to my regret, but I'm kind of proud. Manny actually gave a concise description of this. I said I will regret this.
You will regret
It's
it.
gonna be about 10 minutes from now.
Are you so okay? So what is it about manga that's sort of like? Now I know Death Note is sort of considered one of the best mangas sort of all time. Netflix did a very poor job of making it a TV show a few years ago, but
Very poor.
yeah, but
Okay, to interrupt you guys, what made it so poor?
It was live. Okay, so the live action movies that came out based on the manga were okay. The Japanese ones, the anime based on the manga was fantastic. Joe, I strongly recommend you watch it. I mean, I
Okay,
know you will enjoy it.
That's awesome.
right?
Thank
but
you.
what made the Netflix version of it? It was terrible. Like it was awful CGI. It had William Dafoe as the, I guess you can call him as the demon.
yeah,
right?
Ryuk, right?
And
But wait,
and
In
wouldn't
fairness,
that-
I see that. I see William Dafoe in this like 100%.
Yeah, that's I would have cast Willem Dafoe in that as well.
Oh wait, I think this is actually William Dafoe.
It is Willem Dafoe.
it is, yeah, it is Willem Dafoe.
Sorry,
And then the
sorry.
other two guys.
No, but okay.
And then like
what I'm trying to
and
ask,
then-
Manny.
So-
breathe.
yeah. So, anyways, because a conversation is like a tennis match; it goes both ways. But so, anyways, what I was trying to ask is the Netflix version. It was a live action version, correct?
yes, that's correct.
Okay, so what
Ooh,
made
it starred Lakeith Stanfield.
Ooh, that's nice. So what made it so? What was the adaptation that wasn't so good about it? Was it just the visuals? Was the story not as true to the actual source material, or was it a
It
combination
wasn't
of both?
It was an abomination to the source material. Okay.
Okay,
It's
all right,
like-
all right.
you
I
know what
like.
it's it's like okay,
I'm
it's like if
proud
you
you
took
you
all-
bought a word of the month calendar. I'm very proud of you for that. But anyways, wow, it
Right,
didn't even
so
take
Joe,
10 minutes.
It's like this. Imagine if you're a big Bond fan. Imagine if they took the source material for Goldfinger, all right, and then they put
Goldfinger.
yeah, all right. So they took Goldfinger, and instead of making it, like, and then the adaptation from the book to the movie, all of a sudden, it's the Naked Gun. Only it's not supposed to be funny.
A View to a Kill could be that description, dude. Like, there's a bunch of Bond films that is the actual case, where they didn't even bother to look at the book. I mean, Moonraker is the perfect example, more so. The movie Moonraker has nothing to do with the actual novel. But anyways,
Well, generally books. I mean, it's tough making movies out of comic books because the source material,
comic books or
well, just in
just
general,
novels?
No, but look, up until very recently with the Marvel movies, comic book movies were pretty fucking terrible. Like, it took a long time for that to get like
True.
good.
Before them was only the Batman movies.
There was the Batman
and
movies
the first two Superman movies.
And Spider-Man as well. But like,
yeah,
it took a very long. I mean, there was like a lot of shitty stuff in between that.
like the Captain,
How
the
dare you
first
diss
Captain
the
America.
1990s Fantastic Four?
Yeah, whatever. 1990s Fantastic Four, fucking He-Man.
God.
Yeah, there were a lot of because usually, and it's the same for making a book into a movie. It's usually very hard because the book has a lot more information in it.
A lot more
right?
depth. And,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And you're taking
right?
how many books are there for Death Note?
About 7 or 8, and then there's a lot of
7 or 8.
side.
Okay,
So 7 or 8 books to make 100-minute movie.
So the consensus is now it was a movie or was it a television
Movie.
series? It was a movie.
It was a movie.
So the consensus is
Movie
that,
for Netflix.
yeah,
that they
the
released.
Netflix movie just the adaptation wasn't great.
No.
Now would you say this is also in the era where Netflix was sort of still trying to find their way in terms of what they're
This
producing?
was 2 years ago.
Oh, it was recent.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Some things don't hit, man. And that's
Yeah,
fine.
fair
But, you
enough.
got to
Like,
take a shot at
yeah.
it. I'm sure a lot more people who had never heard of Death Note prior to this got to see it because of it.
And for those people even liked that movie, and then found out why it was inferior compared to the books, or something like that.
I mean, there's
No,
What do you
Dwayne,
think?
Since we're talking about anime and Marvel, have you watched any of the Marvel animes?
I've seen I saw a little bit of the Avengers anime that came out a few years ago that was trippy because I didn't really realize what was going on. So all the Mangaverse comics comics and anime based on Marvel don't follow the American style of like this guy, they don't follow the same stories pretty much, and they're drawn in that cool anime style. They're more their own different story, and they're more Japanese in how they're built, how they're created, I guess. I'm just sort of rambling a little bit, but I have read some of them, and they were pretty cool. What I kind of like
The
about
X-Men one was fantastic.
yeah, what I kind of like about manga is just like how different it feels when you read it. So it's not like a comic book, like the way American comic books are. It's more, you start from the back, you go to the front, which
Right.
So it's written in that style, and then the comics.
Are we still talking about manga or my sex life?
No, it wouldn't be your sex life because there would be
It has to exist.
because people like manga and they're not forced to read it, and
unlike your sex life, which is forced upon people.
and
Red dot, red dot, red dot.
and mangas people who like manga usually are 18 plus.
And no, red dot, red dot, red dot. And, people like to look at manga compared to your penis. Nobody wants to look at that.
But he's got so many wives. The math doesn't make sense.
Red dot, red dot, red dot.
Okay, so Joe, have you ever read any manga?
Not really.
No?
The only thing I've ever actually read that can be considered a manga is our good friend Dave's work.
So
True Vibes.
Dave Edwards of the video game episodes.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Evo episodes.
The Evo episodes when he was competing for that, but he's also a very talented artist.
Yep.
He,
Goes by the Kid 36.
The Kid 36
on Instagram.
on Instagram, as well as his he's got a naughty one too.
Yes, he has a.
He's got a dirty one.
Yes, he's got a very erotica based art page called True Vibes. True Hot Vibes.
True Hot Vibes, because True
36.
Vibes is his actual book.
Yeah. So if you
And I
want
believe
to
there's
follow his
four-
if you want to follow his Instagram, it's TRUHOTVIBS36.
I think so. That's
I'll double check.
that's the naughty one.
Yeah.
Though. And then if you want to follow his other stuff, it's the Kid 36, where you get to see a lot of his actual art that's not too dirty. But if you want to see the dirty stuff. Anyways, that was my that's really the only one I've ever read. I'm not really into manga, to be honest. My cousins are huge into it, like to the point now where my cousin Juliana will actually cosplay at any convention, like her favorite manga characters and stuff like that. And she's,
Nice.
And she's good at like basically she wants to be a fashion designer, so she's good at creating costumes and stuff like that. So she makes some pretty decent costumes.
Anime is good for that stuff too. Cause
you can
the
go.
outfits are always just all over the place, right?
She tends to keep them fairly simple because I don't think she wants to get too complicated because I don't think she has that kind of time.
Right.
But, she also does makes little dolls too.
Yes, I've seen those.
The like Geek by Geck.
Geek by Geck.
Yeah.
We should post that on our Instagram.
Yeah. It's GeekByGeek.
Yeah, she makes they're cute. I've seen a bunch of those.
She gave me I got the Rick and Morty.
That's true. I saw those. They're upstairs.
So I'll show a picture of that and some other stuff. We should get her on to talk about her dolls at some point.
Yeah, I wanted, like, for me, I didn't really watch a lot of anime growing up, but then I realized I was watching an anime growing up. So
how so?
Yeah. So in Dubai, they used to show a cartoon called an anime called Captain Majid, and it was completely in Arabic, and we all used to watch it. I don't think any of us actually spoke any Arabic.
Oh, I was going to say, do you even understand Arabic?
I understand very little of it, but we used to watch it. We had like notebooks, we had merch, and it was all about like this captain of a soccer team, which is how we sort of got along with it. And the animation was anime style, and it was very like Dragon Ball Z-ish in the way it sort of moved.
Would you say it's like Shaolin soccer?
No, well, this is the thing. So Shaolin soccer was sort of based on it eventually. This is sort of the style, but it wasn't.
Because I loved that. That
it was
insane.
The best. Mighty right foot.
It was crazy. Have you seen Shaolin Soccer, Manny?
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Are you just saying that?
No, he's seen it. He's seen it with us. Yeah. So, Captain Majid is like a very like cool animated soccer thing, and I always, because I was a dumb child, thought it was an Arabic show, even though they all look Japanese in it.
But you don't know. I mean, how can you expect a kid to know the difference between animation styles?
Yeah, but you would think I would have like.
No.
You'd think that would have sunk in like when I was 20, but no.
No.
So one day, a mutual friend of yours and mine, Joe, he was Will.
Okay.
I saw him wearing a jersey with the number 10 on it, and I was like, "Hey, that's a Captain Majid jersey." And he's like, "No, it's a Captain Tsubasa jersey." And I'm like, "No, it's not."
You guys went back and forth.
We went back and forth a little bit.
I started to go off topic.
I've not seen him in a while. I would like to
know how that guy's doing. He's a good guy.
He's a good egg. So
good footballer too.
He ended up telling me about Captain Tsubasa and what it's called. And when I started going into this rabbit hole of stuff, and this manga ran from like 1981 to 1989 or so.
Right.
And spawned a shitload
of like merch and shit.
No, like a shitload of movies and animes.
Movies,
like animated movies.
That's amazing.
And then has a bunch of merch, and it's just considered massive. And you'll like this, Joe. A bunch of soccer players have been inspired, have openly talked about wanting to become soccer players because of Captain Majid. So
whom? If I may ask.
Lionel. I was going to keep it a secret.
Oh, damn you. Damn you, sir.
Lionel Messi.
Okay.
I'm going to regret saying this name out loud. Andreas Iniesta.
My cousin.
He's not your fucking cousin.
Cousin, you turd burglar.
Manuel thinks that Andreas Iniesta, who scored the winning goal in the World Cup in 2010,
yes,
is his cousin. Because they happen to have the same last name.
Like maternal last name.
Yeah.
Here's my argument.
He obviously can't be your cousin because all your cousins disown you.
Oh, no, wait.
They all disavow him. This guy doesn't even know he exists to disavow him.
He's disavowed him to the point where he doesn't even exist to him.
But that would mean Manny's Spanish, and he hates the Spanish.
Well, doesn't everyone?
Yeah.
Joey's opinion about Spain are his alone.
I really had a problem with the Spanish, but okay. And then the other two names on that list was Fernando Torres, who's also a Spanish footballer.
Another Spaniard.
Man, this show really played well in Spain.
I guess. Two of their best footballers.
And Del Piero.
Alessandro Del
Piero was one of inspired to be a footballer. This is why I thought you would enjoy this. Because
number 10?
No, not Dybala.
No, he is the only number 10.
That is a lie.
Aside from Michel Platini.
See, okay,
And,
you don't know what the word "only" means then.
Hey, man.
Anyways, so yeah, so this was it was a huge comic that I thought was based on a bunch of Arabs.
Well, you live
All
and
right
learn.
then.
Yeah, at least I'm pretty.
Do you know another? Actually, I didn't know this, but I grew up watching anime. Transformers is actually considered anime. The
But
original
Japanese one.
But
Yeah.
wait, is Transformers Transformers is originally Japanese, right?
Yeah, and I guess I never put that two together. Optimus Prime.
But
Megatron.
hold on. But you were watching American Transformers as a kid, though.
Yeah, dude.
I was, yeah, and apparently that's still considered anime.
No, that doesn't.
Yeah,
sound, that
I
is
just
incorrect
checked it now.
information.
You know what?
We're all so bad at this.
I know, it's amazing.
Do you know who actually does a killer Megatron?
Your mom?
And Soundwave. Our red-haired buddy Gordon. Have you ever heard him do his impression of Soundwave?
What?
Oh yeah, Gordon
What
does
the
an
fuck
amazing
does-
Soundwave.
Okay.
King Guards.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want me to say to that? Like,
But anyway, no. Anyways, no.
have you spoken to Gord recently?
I have actually, and we had talked about this just the other day. No. But as I was saying, I wanted to tell you guys something interesting though about.
I
anime.
hope this is
Something
interesting.
interesting. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is a lie.
Do you guys know what a yaoi is? We talked about it before.
Then we do know what it is. Okay.
Why do you keep bringing it up?
What is a yaoi, Manny?
A yaoi is an anime themed comic where it's considered it's considered love between between two men,
Gay
and
pornography?
it's non-sexual.
Boy love is what it's
Yeah.
considered.
It's non-sexual.
No, it's not.
Is it sexual or non-sexual? Is it like
Is it like a father and son?
So it's not okay. It's not homoerotic.
okay? It's not homoerotic, or it is homoerotic, but just not sexual.
I don't know. I haven't like really seen any of it.
I think you're
I'm
lying
just-
to me right now, and it's
I
like your
am not.
favorite version of manga,
Which is fine.
which is a-okay.
Totally okay with us.
But
And I just-
I'm sure
I'm
it's
just
about-
okay. I'm kind of
I
confused,
just want
Manny.
you to be comfortable in your own skin.
Why did you
Manny.
bring this up to us?
Yeah.
Oh, because I want to talk about the different styles as well. There's also hentai as well, right? We
Well,
can't go
hold
into
on,
Okay,
hold
hold on.
on. Let's
This
relax
isn't
this here.
wait. This isn't a style of manga. This is a genre of manga.
Yeah.
exactly. We can't. Okay,
Don't say
genre
exactly
style.
when you've got it wrong.
So yeah. So anyways, right?
Typical
What do you guys
me.
know about hentai?
What do you know about hentai?
Joe, what do you know?
I'm not on trial here. You're the one on trial.
I'm not on trial.
Okay,
Joe.
so the
Okay,
the first thing about Japanese, oddly enough, about Japanese porn, is that they do not show penetration. If you ever watch porn,
Have you ever? Do either of you know why that is? Because I'm wondering.
I don't know. I don't know if it's based on some weird long lost law, but yeah, it's like if you
Well,
ever
okay.
watch Japanese porn, you
Let's
will
ask
always see.
our Asian correspondent in Asia, because that's who he is, who has recently been to Japan. Do you know why they don't show penetration in Japanese pornography?
I mean, realistically, I am the most qualified to answer this, but I
Qualified.
do not know.
Is it because you watch a lot of Japanese pornography?
No, I don't. Actually, I'm not into that.
Into pornography?
No, into like the blurred out stuff.
I'm not asking.
I'm not into the blurred out stuff.
I want to see what's happening.
fucking-
Okay,
Oh God,
You want to see penetration?
don't you?
I guess, yeah. I mean,
Okay, so then there you go.
but it's weird because I've seen hentai where they do show it.
No, so in hentai though they never actually show penetration. They show penetration, but it's not from a penis going into a
It's a
vagina.
tentacle monster.
Some sort of tentacle monster. Okay, so
Yes.
in Japan, under Article 175 of the Criminal Code of Japan, people who sell or distribute obscene materials can be fined by a punishment. Blah blah blah. Showing pubic hair.
Pubic areas.
Here's the thing. Article 175 was included in the original document in 1908 1907 and remains relatively unchanged. Showing pubic hair and adult genitalia was once considered obscene. Video pornography routinely depicts explicit sex scenes with participants' genitalia obscured by pixelation. The amount of censorship of the penis can vary. Okay, so that is the big deal.
Sometimes if it's just even like they just censor the head.
Yeah, so that's what the deal is that it's some law in 1907 and everyone's too lazy to change it.
It's like 100 and like it's like what is it like?
You trying to do the math?
112, Joe.
30
It's 112.
130. The hell are you talking
It's
about?
around the time.
I
It's
don't
around
know.
the time that you
I
started
don't do
watching
math.
TV, Joe.
Anyways, okay. You're a bad indictment of our school's education system.
You're welcome.
Anyways, yes. So hentai porn is all about the tentacle stuff because of that reason. Because you can't show genitalia. The tentacle monster is okay.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I know someone who
Has
It's
tentacles.
a tentacle monster?
no had sex with a tentacle monster. It was amazing. By someone I met myself. I'm joking. Or am I? But anyway, I've lost my train of thought now. Twin's face is like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, I sort of ended up on a weird thing on Wikipedia called subgenres of Japanese porn.
Have you found a tentacle monster video?
Well, no videos, just descriptions. So
What about Ursula?
there's one version of
Hold on here. Ursula from like The Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
So hold on here. Okay. What you're saying is because she's like half, let's say octopus.
Yeah.
Let's just say octopus. Because I don't know if it's squid, octopus, whatever. She's got 8 tentacles. Are you saying she like
Yes.
to Ariel?
Not the fish half.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna move past this and
Oh,
go
wow.
to something more. We're gonna move past this
I
and go.
think this might be time for a break.
Okay.
I know Manny needs a break now
Alright.
to do his business to what he just described. We'll give you a minute, Manny. Everyone else say hi to Jesus for us. Hey, stupid, shut up. We're going to break.
How's it going, everyone? Jesus here, aka Tyrant Dominus, the host of the Convoluted Podcast, where I get a chance to talk with people from around the world and from my own backyard about the things they love, careers they have, hobbies they enjoy, projects they're working on, and along the way, they tell us some wacky stories, and we get to play some games. Join us on the Convoluted Podcast, everywhere podcasts can be found.
Okay, stop breathing into the mic.
That would be appreciated.
Okay, so I found a weird thing of subgenres of Japanese porn, and this is making me very uncomfortable. The first section is called lolly porn.
Should I put my
Lolicon.
pants back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first section is called lolicon. Manuel, you might be interested in this.
Does it involve lollipops?
No, it is short for Lolita Complex.
Oh.
And this is a genre
I know
involves
this. It's creepy.
Why do you know this?
He's creepy Uncle Manny. That's why he fucking knows
Fair
it.
enough. The genre involves prepubescent and adolescent girls between the age of 6 to 11.
Ew.
It is typically animated pornography.
Okay, thank goodness it's animated, but ew.
Yeah. Then there's
Yeah, that's
Shotakon. Similar to Lolicon, this genre involves prepubescent or underage boys between 6 to 11. It is typically animated pornography.
It's for priests.
There is Yaoi, which man we was talking about incorrectly, features 2 grown adult men in homosexual gay relationships.
Okay, so it is like
But the target audience is typically young adult women.
young adult women.
Yes, typically features a feminine yuki or submissive and a masculine semi or dominant. So it's like a guy and a guy, but one's feminine.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Then there is bara, which is men's love. So okay, so the two difference between yaoi and bara is men's love. So typically features adult men with varying degrees of muscle, body fat, and body hair akin to beefcakes or bears. Unlike yaoi, bara is normally made by actual homosexual men for homosexual men and tends to focus on the more realistic obstacles and challenges that come with being homosexual in Japan.
Really?
There's a fucking lot going on there.
That is fucking interesting.
That's like a whole thing. That's just not porn. You need to know. You need to know
You need to
everything.
understand the lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
get it.
Then there's Yuri, which is Russian porn. No. Then there's Yuri, which is girls' love, featuring 2 grown adult women in a homosexual lesbian relationship. The target audience are mostly male or lesbians, but is much less popular than yaoi.
Really?
And then there is porn for women. New subgenre targeting women portraying Euro men.
So, like, guys that look like me?
No. Portraying erotic men who are catering to women's needs. So all I can assume is this is just like, I'm going to cook dinner today. I'm going to clean the house.
I vacuumed for you, baby.
I did the laundry.
I folded all the towels.
Jesus.
Manny just came.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to also talk about today, because we've gone through, it's the most easiest way to go from one conversation to another.
I like it.
Was
Are you doing a fucking, what's it called? A transition?
I'm doing a transition from porn
Or a segue, if
to
you will?
the segue. I'm going to segue from porn to
love?
Scrooge McDuck.
Well, if you look on the internet, you could find that.
I'm not doing that. So the deal with Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, don't mess up your search history that way.
So did you know that Scrooge McDuck is the creator of anime?
I thought it was Akira Toriyama, but no.
What?
Is that the name you're thinking about?
I don't
Akira
think.
Toriyama is the guy that created Dragon Ball.
Oh, you are wrong. You are
No,
completely wrong, sir.
You're wrong, dog.
How many times do we have to say this so that you can finally learn?
He doesn't learn.
So Carl Barks was the comic book artist for all the Duck Disney comics back in the early 1900s, maybe, or like at least early.
What?
So Carl Barks was the original Disney artist for a lot of the Duck comics back when Disney used to Disney used to release comics. They still do release comics, but
Right.
back when comics were the sort of big bread and
butter?
outside of animation.
Bread
And
butter.
a Japanese gentleman whose name I'm blanking on,
Osamu Tezuka?
Mr. Tetsuka, was a giant fan of the Scrooge McDuck comics.
Now, who is Osamu Tezuka?
He is the creator of Astro Boy. And Astro Boy...
Man, you only do it when we mention DuckTales. What the fuck, dude?
But Astro Boy is considered like the original manga comic. The style
Of modern manga, you
of
mean?
modern manga, yeah. But like the style, everything you see in sort of Japanese animation now, Japanese manga now, the big eyes, the cute, the small mouth, the sort of the way they're drawn. He based all of it on the way Scrooge McDuck
On the way,
was drawn.
like what he watched from DuckTales?
Yeah, well, not DuckTales.
That's amazing.
It wasn't DuckTales at the time, but it was Scrooge McDuck comics.
DuckTales.
Dogfix.
Oh,
Well, funny thing about it was the two. He loved this comic. He basically introduced it into Japan after World War II. So modern
Really?
manga, and they never got to, because they worked for different companies. They never really got a chance to like have their characters meet in any kind of official form. But
he passed away in 1989, actually,
but-
at the age of 60.
But Tezuka, wow, that's young.
Yeah.
But Tezuka once wrote a letter to Carl Barks, basically thanking him for like his inspiration and everything. And in that letter, Scrooge McDuck and Astro Boy are hanging out. Like he drew both of them together, hanging
Aw,
out.
so sweet.
It's the only time those two characters have ever like actually interfaced.
Tetsuka
Is that
has
the
been...
inspiration for? Hold on, sorry. Is that the inspiration for Gizmo Duck then, Astro Boy?
I don't think so. It could be, but
I
mean,
I
we
couldn't
can check.
Yeah, I can't, like,
I mean, you could
confirm that
literally
for
have
you.
checked that.
That's true. Yeah, Mr. Tetsuka passed away of
guys.
stomach cancer. Sadly.
I fly off the cuff, boys.
Yeah, that means you don't do any research. Anyways,
You are a cuff.
Mr. Osamu Tezuka was also was coined as the father of manga, or the godfather, or grandfather, or whatever, or the god of manga. So basically, he is like, his work is the benchmark to what everybody sort of started off their careers and sort of emulate his work type of thing. And I grew up watching the Astro Boy cartoon. I loved it.
Fuck you, man. How old are you?
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
It was in syndication, guys. How do you not know that?
Next Joe's going to say
It was in
watch the
syndication.
original
That
Gundam
feels
series.
like something you just made up.
Who, me?
I feel like you watched it in first run.
No, I did not watch it in first run.
Joe, did you watch the original Gundam series? Jeez.
No,
We
because I'm
don't-
not as excited about
We
it
don't
as
talk
you
about
are.
Gundam on this show anymore. You've ruined it for us all.
You've ruined Gundam. Yeah, man. I watched it in syndication. I want to bring up more so the movie that came out recently.
Yeah, did
though.
you like that?
It was all right. I mean, I thought it could have been done a little bit better, but again, here's the thing. I mean, I find, and I'm also guilty of this too, but when you're a fan of something, you tend to like judge each new adaptation that comes out a lot harsher.
Yeah, like Manny and Thing, right? Like Manny and Death Note.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it, in some respects, it actually hinders the enjoyment of of what's being released, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go and rave saying the '09 Astro Boy was amazing. I thought it was a fun movie, but I mean, would it warrant
It's not really something we talk about now anyway. So it's sort of like it had its moment and then it kind of disappeared.
Well, that's the thing. It was kind
Hold on
of
a second. Did you say hindering the enjoyment of release?
Oh, shut the fuck up. Go fuck a
uncle.
tactical monster, okay?
creepy Uncle Manny strikes
No,
again.
they fuck you.
Yeah, go have Ursula fuck you, dude. I think you'd enjoy that. I think,
sexy
but mind
beast,
you,
man.
I can't remember.
But to add to the '09 Astro Boy movie, did you ever watch the Speed Racer, the one with Dan Aykroyd?
It wasn't Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd, I don't think was in that.
Dan Aykroyd.
Sorry,
Speed
sorry.
Racer.
Are
Are you thinking about Blues Brothers?
John Goodman.
Are you still thinking about Blues Brothers?
He's thinking about Blues Brothers.
No, but John Goodman was in the in that Speed Racer movie. I think I must have watched it about 50 times. I love that movie.
Guys, and I wasn't sure, but I had to double check this. But guess who is in the '09 Astro Boy?
Who?
Wait,
our best friend,
No.
Mr. Nicolas Cage, plays Dr. Tenma.
No.
He is the voice of Dr. Tenma in Astro Boy. I knew it had we had a Nick Cage
Fucking
connection.
guy, man. He shows up in everything.
He's almost like Kevin Bacon, except better.
Oh my god.
He's Kevin Bacon without the Jesus. He's Kevin Bacon. He's Kevin Bacon without the with commitment issues.
Nick Cage, he'll forever haunt this show.
Haunt? How dare you? How dare
Fuck
you?
yourself.
You bite your tongue, sir.
Just in general. That has
Bite
nothing to
your
do with what you
fucking
just
tongue.
said.
How dare you?
All right. See, now I gotta bring Joe back down to earth because you've got him so angry.
Bring him back to earth in a Gundam.
So rude.
Actually, no,
No,
but by
no.
by manga and anime law, Joe's too old to pilot a Gundam. Joe, how old are you now?
Old enough.
So no, you're in your mid-30s.
I'm 34.
So by anime manga rules, you have to be a general in the army now.
What does that
Because
mean?
only 14 and 15-year-old boys can be the heroes of the story.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
fair.
I feel like it's aimed more towards 14
Yeah.
and 15-year-old boys.
Sort of
so
why they have.
I'd accept that. I mean, I feel like, if I was a Gundam pilot, I feel like if I've reached the age of 34, I'm a fairly accomplished pilot
Or dead.
or dead. So, I mean, reaching the age of 34 is accomplishment enough.
Being a Gundam pilot would be amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
As a man who knows how to drive a car, you should be fine. It's already an accomplishment that you managed how to do that.
He's got
My
his
Civic-
motorcycle license.
Rick is no Gundam.
We're talking to someone who has his motorcycle license. That's an accomplishment in itself.
I do.
Why did you
I
make
really-
that sound so creepy?
I know that he has
you know
had
what? Maybe
motorcycles.
I would
I
love
don't
a
know if he has a
motorcycle,
motorcycle
like-
license.
So you're saying he's owned them illegally?
No, you can buy a motorcycle.
What's the point of buying one if you can't drive it?
I don't know. He does the same thing with everything else. He gets married. He doesn't live with any of them.
Fair enough. You got me there. I've got nothing.
He's
for
just a
that.
collector. He just loves collecting shit.
He's Benicio del Toro in the Marvel universe.
No, he's like a collector in a terrible universe. He's more a comic book guy.
Don't insult comic book guy.
Yeah, no, he has a thriving business.
You know what? I would love the Akira momotorcycle.
See?
Actually, if you-
He doesn't listen to what we say.
Hold on. Okay, so. Okay, so you just want you want the Akira motorcycle. Do you? Akira's one of those ones that sort of went through this. The Akira actually went through Disney for a while.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Did you guys? And I know the answer already, but thoughts on Sailor Moon? Did you guys ever really watch it? Or
I didn't really watch Sailor Moon. I knew Anna loves Sailor Moon. She used to watch it. I wasn't. When I came to Canada, it was sort of the big fucking show.
yeah, like 97.
97. So it was
Yeah.
massive in 97. But I didn't really get into it. And similarly, in the same way, I didn't really get into Pokemon when it first came out. So I did.
Pokemon?
I kind of
Catch
felt
'em all. It's you and me. You know it's our destiny.
Hey Manny, who sings that?
I don't know, some guy.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
No, but yeah.
But
Maddie, did you watch Sailor Moon?
I actually did, and it was awkward. I used to skip school to watch it.
wait, why was it awkward? Were you jerking off to Sailor
know.
Moon?
More
I don't know, something about that miniskirt.
Fucking
Dude,
Sailor Moon used to air at like 3 and 4 o'clock. Why would you have to skip school?
He wanted to watch the noon one because he knew his mom and dad were at work, so he can jerk off to Sailor Moon.
Look, first of all, if you're gonna jerk off to anybody, it has to be Sailor Mars.
Manny,
I don't know.
Man, he's probably fucking jerking off to Tuxedo Mask and the cat.
oh, that fucking cat! I love it.
Ugh. The 90s were really big
I'll tell you a
about
funny
talking
story.
cats.
I was watching Pokemon one day when I was 17.
Pokemon.
You know,
This is already. This is.
Do you know?
No.
Do you know my dad? Do you know my dad literally came in, fucking like unplugged the TV, and he's like, "You're too old for this shit."
Dude, how disappointed is he in you right now? Then, if he thought you were too old for it at 17, what did he think about when he saw you, when he heard about you screaming like a fucking maniac because a giant Gundam's eyes flashed in Japan?
He gave us a video of a robot blinking.
Okay, let's put some context to this. So there's this giant Gundam in Japan. It looks amazing. It's great. Basically anybody who goes to Japan
if you listen to our Manny Does Japan episode,
if you didn't fall asleep through our Manny,
if you got
Japan
past the
episode,
fact that Manny really enjoyed 7-Eleven coffee, he did talk about
right, and we have a picture of
the
it on our
Gundam.
Instagram.
There's a picture of it, and I believe it's on our stories too.
Yeah, but one day, very early in the morning,
Moshi Manny.
yeah, one day very early in the morning, Manny sent us a video, and he's like, "Look at this," and we played it, and for 30 seconds, this Gundam's eyes flashed, and Manuel
fuck yourself.
was fucking going on about this. Like it was the second coming of Christ.
like
It was fucking ridiculous.
It's a giant Gundam.
Yes, we understand that.
No,
I don't
no,
understand what
no,
the
no.
video portion was. Was there another Gundam off camera doing some amazing shit? Because that's usually how you record stuff.
Hey guys, look at
What's
this.
the what was the name of that soccer player guy? That Arab?
I don't know who you talking about. Mahrez?
No, that.
Because he's Algerian, so he's African.
No. That guy you were mentioning that you liked. What's his name? Captain Suzuki? What was it?
Tsubasa?
Subasha.
Yeah,
Right? There we go.
Tsubasa?
Tsubasa.
Wow. So, anyways, imagine if there was like a life-size,
If there was
statue
a
of
real
Captain
player. The equivalent of what you're trying to do right now, because your little tiny brain can't handle it, is if I went and saw a soccer player and he was just had his foot on the ball for a few seconds and I recorded it and then sent it to you guys and go, look at all the skill.
Listen here, okay?
Dude,
Just listen here.
Manny,
I understand for you underwhelming is a big improvement.
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I expected like the arms to move or something.
So this thing was gonna break dance.
Like no, even if the arms moved, I thought that would have been cool, right? But it blinked.
Guys,
That's all it did. It blinked. I'm
the
like,
unicorn.
okay,
the
let me
horn
finish before you.
separated, and a face came out. Okay, I see what you mean now when I say it out loud.
Exactly.
Okay,
You also did not send us that part of the video.
No, you sent us the part where it didn't.
You sent us
happen.
blinking eyes.
Yeah, dude, I'm not lying to you. It just fucking blinked, and I'm standing there, risking getting yelled at by my boss because I'm watching this at work, and I'm like, "Fuck! I thought this was gonna be amazing." And all it is a robot. Okay? The statue is impressive.
The statue is very impressive. There's no
I
denying
really
that.
wish you took it from an angle where you could see the actual size in regards to other people. But again,
Whatever.
that's fine. But, and here's the fucked up part. You talked this thing up so much. I was excited. I was really excited to see this video. And then I saw it and I'm like, oh boy. It was...
I just sent the picture of it from behind.
What the fuck did you take a picture of it from behind for?
What are you doing?
So you can actually see its height.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think we will share this. And the
Why
video.
the fuck wouldn't you put this picture up?
I knew he was gonna get yelled at. I knew he was gonna yell at you. The second I saw the photo, I knew he was gonna fucking yell at you, dude. You fucking turd burglar.
Alright, you know what? Why do you manage to ruin everything about Japan?
But the coffee at 7-Eleven's so good.
I hate you so much. Okay.
I actually have something.
Please. It's getting very close to 9 o'clock at night right now.
I know.
Let's go through this. Top 5?
I have actually a top 10, but you can cut it down to top 5 if you want.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Okay, what is our top
Plus
5?
a little bit extra. All right. So the top 5 that I have are the most read, i.e., possibly popular mangas ever.
Ooh.
Of all time. So I'm gonna start out with. We can do a quick. It's a list of 10. We'll do really quickly.
All right.
And then
Top 10.
Yeah, we'll go to 10. So number 10 on the list is One Punch Man.
Fucking excellent
We
comic.
haven't really talked enough about One Punch Man, but yes.
It is pretty cool. I mean, I've always seen the memes of Superman versus One Punch Man, who would win. And everybody says One Punch Man, no problems.
He just needs one punch.
That's the whole thing. One
Yeah.
punch. You guys told me a little bit about it earlier, where he's just sort of this regular dude, and even like the drawings of him, like in the comics,
They're just all boring.
It's very just sort of, mind you, the cover art on the fucking thing is amazing, and I'm gonna share this list.
Yeah.
Right, the cover art looks amazing, but I'm sure the inside art is just very mundane. Like he's drawn very mundane.
He's only drawn very mundane. Everything around, but it's to show how sort of like uninterested he is in everything.
Uninterested.
He is just so bored with it. The way the comic works is he lives in the world is broken up, or the city is broken up into different sectors. So he lives in a sector, and he's just so bored with how easy, he wants a challenge.
Okay.
And he wants a challenge, and just everything he destroys is through this one punch. He can just punch somebody once, they're gone,
and it's done.
Over.
Okay. So that's a quick synopsis of One Punch Man. Number 9 is, we did talk about this a little bit earlier, Death Note, which is are one of Manny's favorites. See, he's jerking
Ooh,
off
it's
right
so
now.
good. No, Joe, I gotta tell you, you
How
gotta.
okay, I have to ask
please-
you on this list. How do you feel about being number 9 on this list?
I think it's way too low. It should be in the top 4
All
at
right.
least.
Okay.
Because
Let's go through the rest of the
All
list
right.
and
Let's
see what's
see.
there.
Let's see what number 8 is Attack on Titan. Now, Manny, do you know anything about this guy?
I know Manny
I
does.
do, yeah. Attack on Titan is pretty good. It's actually a really, really brutal anime slash manga. It's basically about like these giant humanoid creatures who eat the humans, and like the last remaining human colonies, their job is to try to, survive, A, and 2, take down these monsters with blades where they have to just like cut off the nape of their neck. But most of the time they just get eaten.
I think I've watched this with Dave.
Yes.
It sounds familiar. We've watched this at Dave's place, haven't we? Number 7, Slam Dunk.
I've heard of it,
The
but I've
true
never watched
story
it.
of the Raptors.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. The synopsis here is a high school guy named Himachi Sakurai. I destroyed that name. Who is not experienced in any sports, start playing basketball and rapidly develops his skills, having amazing physical abilities. In addition to Hanamachi, what's attractive in this manga is other than unique characters, it's its rival. Okay, it's a whole other stuff,
So
but
it's just a basketball dog.
it's a basketball type of one.
It's actually, it kind of sounds like the story of Pascal Siakam.
It is the story
Yeah.
of Pascal Siakam.
Spicy P.
Because Spicy P is a fucking superhero.
Yes, he is.
Number 6 is Naruto. Do you know about Naruto, Manny?
I do, yeah. I mean, I was never a fan of it, but I definitely do see
Naruto
why it's
is
very, very
fucking
popular.
insanely popular. If you go to any sort of...
I think my cousin's like that. Now,
yeah.
are you not a fan of just because it's not in your wheelhouse, not something you're super interested in, Manny? Is that what it is?
No, I'm not super interested in it.
It sounds
but
like
I
it has,
definitely do think
it
it's
has a lot to do with friends and friendship, so...
Oh, yeah. No, that's not up Manny's alley at all. All right. Now we're into number 5s. So, number 5.
Number 5.
Full Metal
Number
Alchemist.
Oh, this one's huge.
It
I've
is huge.
even
It's
heard
very,
about
very
this
popular.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you sort of give like a quick overview, Manny? Have you read this?
Actually, no, I know nothing of it, to be honest. I just
Alright
know the
then.
name.
Well, that's what you get when you don't have fucking fans doing this. Number 4, One Piece.
One Piece is insane. I think it's one of the longest running animes on there. I bet Bleach is actually up on that
Animes or
list too.
manga?
Yeah, manga and anime.
It's okay, so it has been developed to both. What do you know about it, Manny?
It's about a pirate king named Luffy. He's basically just made out of rubber, and it's his adventures in the high seas. Him and his friends and his crew.
Nice.
Nice. Number 3, Akira.
Akira.
Yes, Akira.
Otherwise known as the motorcycle Manny ones.
What about
let's
this
just-
one, Manny? What do you know about this one?
Um,
Again, I hate to
yeah,
keep doing this to you,
No,
but
post-apocalyptic world, very violent, very crude. It's got a very steampunk feel to it as well, right?
okay, so it's really stylistic in that way.
Yeah.
Number 2, Hunter x Hunter or Hunter by Hunter. I'm not sure, but
I don't know it. I'm sorry, I know nothing of it.
it's apparently like the second ranked, like most read.
Who's the source for this article?
Some weevil.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Manny, why are you being offensive for, you jerk?
So Hunter by Hunter has been around since 1998 and basically just went on a hiatus in 2006.
The source I have is jwwebmagazine.com.
And
Did you say weevil?
no?
No, JW.
So
Okay.
There's
there's been
fucking worse.
there's been 380 chapters of this comic.
Okay, so
So
it's
probably up here, and there's been a TV show and a
there's been about
2013 film.
this says there's like 36 volumes. I don't know
Yeah.
how new
So
this is.
380 chapters have been collected into 36 volumes.
So number one is either going to be Inuyasha, Bleach, or Ninja Scroll.
Is that what you're thinking?
I'm
Yeah.
saying Sailor Moon.
You're both wrong.
Ooh.
Damn it!
Dragon Ball.
Ah.
Ooh, Dragon
How can we
Ball
forget
is what this person has put on this list as their number one.
Number one.
Number one.
Damn I don't understand how Bleach should have been up there. Actually, Bleach should have
Again,
been
these are best-selling comics, so it all depends on what it is.
Yeah, it's based off
Yeah.
of sales, I'm guessing. So there's been 42 volumes of Dragon Ball. It actually ran from 1984 to 95.
So 10, 11 years?
Yeah, so it's not like they're making new Dragon Balls. Or Dragon
They
Ball.
are actually.
Well, now they are, but I mean, I'm talking about like the original freaking print or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So that is our top 10. We've okay, I only watched a little bit of the show. Dwayne, did you watch any of Dragon Ball Z, I guess, or the original Dragon Ball when it came out?
I saw an episode where a guy went to punch somebody, and last I checked, he still hasn't connected. So
That was 10 years ago.
that was 10 years ago.
Manny?
I watched the new ones, Dragon Ball Super. It's
Okay.
absolutely incredible.
Okay, what do you like about them? Because you just sound like somebody who just came in his pants.
Every time you say incredible,
You
it
say-
sounds so fake.
It sounds so fake. It sounds so inappropriate. It's upsetting.
Is it incredible?
Stop it. You're making me sad. But okay, what do you like about Dragon Ball in general? Because here's the thing. I mean,
okay, well, it's the first. To be completely honest with you, I'm not the biggest Dragon Ball fan. I never was. I watched it in the beginning. To be honest with you, I actually used to steal VHS tapes of the Dragon Ball episodes, and then when they stopped bringing them over and translating them, I had no idea what had happened in between.
Wait.
So I waited a good 6 years to find out what happened.
is this another story like of when you would steal VHS tapes from Blockbuster of Mac and Me?
No comment. Anyways, right? So
You stole fucking Dragon Ball from Blockbuster.
anyways,
You
so yeah, so
fucking
I mean,
criminal.
so it was.
No wonder they
I
went
remember
under.
enjoying it heavily. I remember enjoying it massively when I was a kid. But you know what? One of the first animes I ever did watch, like I'll tell you what got me into anime. It was an anime called Ninja Scroll. It was extremely violent,
All right, can you
extremely
make this
sexual.
quick, buddy? We're getting
I know,
tight
but
on time, man.
Just
Don't you have to go
listen
back to work?
Yeah, dude.
No, hold on. It was extremely violent, extremely sexual, and the first place I watched it was on YTV at 8 o'clock at night. And man, they never aired that again.
Well, mind you, our the CRTC regulations are a little bit different. 8 o'clock's a little bit early, but after 9, apparently, I think it's fair
The
game.
Wild West.
It's the Wild West, as they say.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure.
All right, are you
The feeling
leaving
is
us-
not mutual.
Are you leaving us early, Manny?
No, I'm staying with you guys till the end.
Then why did... Okay.
You're the fucking worst.
Anyways.
Yes, senpai.
What does that mean? No,
No,
never mind.
Stop
Never
asking
mind.
these
I don't want to know.
terrible questions.
I don't want to know.
Do you want to know what a waifu is?
No. You dirty
Fine.
motherfucker.
Things got dirty there. Anyways.
Did you just Google what a waifu is?
No,
Please don't.
I'm not going to.
Don't fuck up your search history like that. Don't do
Okay.
it. Don't ruin your search history.
All right, so we're ending this episode pretty late. It's going to go up tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned a little bit about
By tomorrow, that
manga.
means Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. I hope you learned a little bit about manga. We actually kind of did today. A little, all three of us, I think.
I know I learned the most.
I think next week we come back with the top 5, and then we figure out how August is going to go. But thank you for joining us on Comic Book Month. And
Actually, if you guys have any suggestions for topics for us to talk
in
about,
August, we can go with that.
we'd love to hear from you. So just shoot us a comment on our Instagram, which is No Winner Pod, as well as our Twitter
Yeah.
is No Winner Pod. It's been a while since we've done this because we had Tash pre-recorded before she
And
disappeared.
our Twitter is pretty dead, so
Yeah.
God forbid anybody do anything on it. And or on our Facebook page at No Inner. Is that No Inner? No
It's
Inner
Inner
Monologue.
Monologue.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So either one works.
All right.
Please keep listening. We are loving the fact that you are.
And
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we will talk to you soon. Manny, say bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Do not choose combo number 5.